welcome back to the Art Saddle podcast with myself, Upper Kelly, and my beautiful co-host, Kenan Flannery. Say hello, Kenan.
Hello, and welcome back, everyone. It's so wonderful to be back, isn't it?
Yes. We've been missing for the last few weeks, you could say. But for good reasons. Good reasons.
We've been having a siesta, as they say.
Doing nothing.
Doing sweet FA, yes. No, it's nice to be back. It's life is caught up. I think things kind of picked up in the work world and the human world and all that. So I think
the actual real world.
Yes, the real world.
The podcast realms.
we liked hiding in these podcast realms, and then we realised that the real world exists, and it's not as fun as sitting on Zoom and talking shit for 2 hours. Yeah. So that happened, and yeah. So, but it's great to be back, and hopefully we're back now for the long haul.
Yes. We're back in business by. I know myself. I was actually changing jobs. You know, this thing we actually have to have like a day job. You know that thing, the crappy old thing, the traditional way of living. We have to have a day job. Yeah, I've changed my day job recently from one to another, from embroidering T-shirts and school uniforms and stuff to doing tech support. So I've completely changed careers, and it's all for the better. Thankfully, it's closer to home, and it's just all for the better. And I'm delighted now. I'm settled in. I've been there a few weeks now. I'm settled in, so now I can kind of get back and do the fun things like podcasts and that kind of crack.
Yes.
And we've been both gigging.
We have
as well.
been. Yes.
This is another important thing.
Which is very exciting, because I know a couple of times on the podcast you've talked about like how you kind of only started gigging before the DLC word swung into effect.
Yeah.
And it's great to see that you're out gigging and you're having fun. How has it been?
It's good now. I've played a few. We've done one together up in Ars Cronan a few weeks ago. The lovely Colm Gavin invited us up to this songwriters type gig. I can't remember the actual name on the event, but it was
it was like one of these like an evening of song. No,
evening of song. Troubadour.
Troubadour, that was it. Yes, an evening of song,
one.
Troubadour. And we went, and it was like a deadly place. It was like a little speakeasy kind of venue, and they had a bar, and they only took cash.
You took advantage of the €2 Guinnesses, or what was it?
It was like $3.20. $3.20 Guinness. I remember the girl gave me the Guinness, and I like waved the $5 at her and was like, "Is this enough?" And she goes, "Yeah," and she takes and gives me change. And I just, as she walked up, I just turned to one, "Is this heaven?" And she went,
they're not counting the money properly behind the bar. What's going on?
It's shocking. Right money. It's shocking. And I was delighted, and I eventually got home. But you remember, I went up and played, and I was like, "Jeez, I should," because I don't drink a lot before shows.
Yeah,
for that simple reason.
I have one or two to loosen up, but that's it.
Yeah, one or two maybe, yeah. But the anxiousness kicks in, and then you get up on stage, and I'm like, I have too many, and I'm like, oh God, I can't even remember
what a G card is.
What's my name? Where am I?
What's my name?
But we did that, and you were doing some pub shows, and
yes. It was. I'll tell you, it was a little strange. There's a place in rural Wexford I got a few gigs at. The first gig I did, it was strange because, like, the thing where everyone has to book their tables and stuff. So it's like maybe 3 tables in front of me, and I can see maybe 10 people in my eye line when I was playing, and like it's like as if they didn't even realize there was music being played in the room. There was like. It was strange. It was. I remember I described to you at the time. It was kind of a little soul destroying. But then I went back to the same place like 2 weeks later, and it was great crack. We had people dancing and singing along, and it was good crack, you know. So it was just a completely different audience or crowd, I guess, whatever it was.
Well, I think it's like I think a lot what they say is it'll take your soul, but it'll pay your bills.
Yeah,
and it's definitely one of them things. Like them pub shows can be a hit or miss. And
definitely can.
But you just have to, you truck along and you sell a bit of your soul every night and just hope you can pay for some bread the next day.
Exactly. But you had a few gigs now. You had a big one. You had you were supporting the Wolfe Tones.
I
no
was.
less.
Yeah, I forgot that it's been that
That
long.
was a few weeks ago now.
Since we've actually been on the podcast. Yeah.
That was after we did our last episode back in before Halloween. Actually, we were supposed to do a Halloween episode where I was going to tell ghost stories from Loftus Hall, but then, things went out of control, so we couldn't actually record, and then we haven't recorded since. So
Yes.
you play with the Wolfe Tones since.
I
which
did
is
indeed.
fantastic.
I did indeed, yeah. Which is a dream come true because I was raised on the Wolfe Tones and all that kind of ballad rebel music. So that was in the National Concert Hall. There was like 2,000 people there or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was just jammers and it was just wild. It was the last like wild night before kind of, because when you went in there, like it was just, it didn't feel like COVID existed. People were just, it was just a lovely atmosphere and people were just having a great time, you know, dancing and singing and all that. So, you know, the Wolfe Tones, like if you haven't seen them live, like I recommend going because like for their ages, like they put on one hell of a fucking show. Like they are insane. So I did that. Did a couple of other gigs. I'm playing in a place in the city centre now, and I was gonna say weekly, but of course once we get into the news, we'll be able to talk about how they are. It's not going to be weekly anymore.
No. We have a few news topics coming up. All right, we'll talk about that. We talk about Spotify a bit. I suppose I'm going to move away from using Spotify, so I'll explain my reasonings as well, and a few other things. I think Distrokid is starting NFTs, which is a whole topic in itself as well. But what kind of stuff are you going to be chatting about news-wise?
Well, we'll be talking about as we said, the wildness of the new restrictions, and I have a bit of positive news.
Oh,
about a bar in Dublin that
Jeez, you don't want to be positive now these days, though, do you? You want to be negative.
You want to be negative, all the way negative. But there was a bar in Dublin that actually got saved from being shut down and being replaced with another beautiful and well-needed hotel in Dublin city centre, as we need many hotels. So yes, thankfully, that was fun, and it's a lovely story of triumph and community, how a lot of people came together. So yeah, we have lots of stories, and then we have some dad jokes
Christmas
themed dad jokes.
Yeah. I can sure we can tell one or two right now. Sure, no harm.
Go, you take it away.
I suppose I can tell you one. I can tell you one off the bat. Why is Santi's sack so big?
Don't know why.
He only comes once a year.
That's a good one. That's a good
I
like
one.
that.
Good one.
I like that one.
I have another one. It's a little bit more long-winded, right? But right, it was coming up to Christmas Eve, right? And Santa was at the workshop, and he's like, "All right, like this, it's getting too hectic now. I just need a minute to clear my head. I just need 5 minutes alone, lads. No one come. I'm going to go into that room over there now. No one come in. No one talk to me, and just leave me alone 5 minutes, right?" And he was in there for about a minute, and an angel walked in the door, and he goes, "Santi, where will I put this Christmas tree?" So what did Santi go? So shove it up your arse, will you? Boom, there you are. It's not as great, but it's okay. You have your angel on the top of the tree, you know?
Oh! That went over my head.
Yeah. It was a risky one. It was a risky one.
That was a good one, though. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that much.
Do you have any yourself?
I'm short one here. What is the favourite Christmas carol of every new parent?
I don't know. What is it?
Silent Night.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Here. What's the elf's favorite type of music?
What
Rap
is it?
music.
Rap music. Here's I'll give you one more. Considering the fact we didn't get to talk about haunted Loftus Hall.
Oh yeah.
Why did the Grinch decide to go to the haunted house the other day?
I don't know. Why?
Because he was searching for the holiday spirit. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Let's
I love dad jokes. They're really hit and miss. Like.
really, yeah. The first one about the
That's the
sack
fun of
was
them.
good. I like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one. That's got to be
That was
taken.
alright.
I want to use that. Oh, here's another one. What do you call a homeless Italian man?
I don't know. What would you call a homeless Italian man?
Giovanni change.
Giovanni change.
Giovanni change.
That's a good one.
There you go.
All right, I think we may dip into a bit of news. I was going to say
Bit of news.
a bit of news. Do you want to kick off first with your? Oh, well, I suppose we talk about those restrictions first. I suppose get him out of the way.
Get them out of the way. Yeah, get them dirty things out of the
So
way.
we're recording this as of 19th of December 2021. So these are the new restrictions that have come into place since
midnight tonight.
Tonight,
Taking effect tomorrow on Monday. So we won't worry about other stuff that doesn't concern the music industry, but the ironic thing of this is it just feels like it's catered towards the music industry in some
or catered against the music industry
in some way, shape or form.
Yeah.
So all restaurants and bars must close by 8 o'clock tonight. So, or 8 o'clock on Monday, and this will go into play until the 30th of January.
Yeah. So full what's that, 6 weeks? Something like that?
Now,
6 weeks.
NEFA, what's NEFA? Like National Health something.
NEFA. NPHET.
National Public
Health. You know, everyone knows what we're talking about. Ireland, of course. They're like our health advisory. They're like the WHO for Ireland.
Yeah, there you go.
Who?
The who, the what, the where, the when, the how. And they actually recommended the government to close at 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, yeah.
Which, like, people don't even get out of work at 5 o'clock.
No, you're not. You're still in work late, yeah. I felt like the government were like saying, okay, lad, look, NEFA's saying 5 p.m. and the government were like, how about 10? And the NEFA was like, how about 6? And the government was like, maybe 9. And the NEFA was like 7. And the government then was, look, we'll cut in the middle, we'll do 8. All right, okay. Spit in the hand. Shake the hand then. It's like, good deal.
Good deal. And I just think, like,
Jesus, I just thought of that. You know the thing, you'll spit in your hand and shake hands when you make a deal. That's long dead now.
That's long dead now. So you have here, which is something that I actually didn't realise until now. The last bit about this, but it goes, events indoors, such as theatre performances and music concerts, should not take place after 8 o'clock. Cinemas must be closed by this time as well. Indoor events scheduled early in the day should have a capacity of 50%, a limited capacity of 50% of the venue, or 1,000 people, whatever is lower. Right, but this is what I want to know. Religious services are exempt.
Oh yeah, of course. Midnight Mass, you have to have that, like.
Yeah,
Good
Crimbo.
TV show, by the way. Did you watch that?
Midnight Mass.
Midnight Mass on Netflix. Excellent.
I'll check it out. I'm just thinking now, if you want to go to a gig, you'll have to go down to the local church.
Yeah.
Drink a bit of the holy wine and just listen to
Silent Night.
Yeah, they listen to the choir boys belt it out. I actually might do that, yeah. Fuck, why not? It's only a bit of music you're going to get for a while anyway.
Yeah.
Become really religious over the next few days. What else? Outdoor, 50% as well. Weddings. I love the way this is worded. Weddings can take place after 8 p.m, but has to be a limit of 100 people.
See, this is the thing, right? This whole time limit thing, I'm all very, I'm for restrictions if they're necessary and all this kind of stuff. But then this time limit thing always, like, it used to be where you have to have, 12 o'clock or 11 o'clock, you have to be out of the pub, or 10 p.m. or something like that, and whatever's. It's like as if, okay, no, after 11 p.m. now, COVID will get stronger. You know, you watch out for that. Be roaming the streets trying to bite your ankles, like. So
Yeah.
it's, you know, makes no sense. Like the only way of doing it is limiting the amount of people going in. Like that's really like a set a time limit on it doesn't make sense at all.
Wasn't there a thing? Like, and it was like, do you remember the meal thing? Remember the €9 meals people used to
€9
make
meals,
joke about? You had to pay a certain amount to get into a place.
Yeah.
So your like bill had to be like,
yeah. You had to sit down and have some food.
You had to.
Yeah.
And you had to stay for like
then you could order a pint.
105 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
And then after that, COVID was free range on you.
That's the thing. What's happened now is time limits and stuff. Everyone's going to go nuts, and it's going to be free. Like I've been in a few, you know, you've seen a few pubs, and there's not much social distance going on inside the pubs, and everyone's going cracked up until the time limit, and then you have to go home now. You know, like it makes no difference.
No. Saying that, I don't know if it's different down in the country compared to up here, but I've seen the opposite with pubs. Like the pubs I've been in that have done, like I've done gigs in and stuff. They've been like really strict on people, you know, and like it's kind of interesting to see.
Yeah,
you know,
I've seen the opposite now. It's just been free for all.
Well, I was inside the pub, when I was doing that gig there the other day, like last week. There was a fella, and he got up dancing, and like a light, fucking people sprinted over and was like, "You have to sit down."
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Now, none of that.
What's mad is the government and NFTs both recommended against shutting schools, which is a weird. Weird concept. Like, why? Like, schools are probably the biggest COVID spreaders.
Yeah, and they've always said, they're like since the start, they're very safe. They're very safe, and then they recently go, oh no, we've never said they're very safe. You know, so it's just, lads, come on now. Which way is it? Like,
did you see? I something popped into my head that reminded me. I had to look it up because I seen it the other day and. So in England, COVID passes in England do not have to be checked in certain late night venues such as bars with dance floors until 1 a.m. So if you're in a bar with a dance floor, you can get in. But if you're there at 1 a.m., people will start going around and start checking.
That doesn't even make sense either.
Yeah, like I read that ages ago, and I thought it was like one of these like. If anyone's listening that isn't from Ireland, we have this like thing called the Waterford Whispers. You know,
the Waterford Whispers is like kind of the American Onion. You know,
yeah.
If you know the Onion, we have our equivalent here in Watford, in Ireland. Waterford Whispers,
and it's great crack to read what they be putting up on social media and stuff. But they put up
satirical news articles,
and I genuinely thought it was just a joke. Like I thought it was one of their yos. But then I started looking around and I was like, oh, it's not. It's genuine. It's a genuine article about what the government of England were like. Oh, we should. This makes sense. Does that make sense to anyone?
It doesn't make any sort of sense. Go mad until 1 o'clock. Then you have to show us your pass.
But like, what if like this is the thing? What if you have like COVID, right? What if you have COVID, and you're like, but like, I don't follow the rules, so I'm gonna go into this bar and hug and kiss everyone, and then 1 o'clock
and leave at 5 to 1.
Leave at 5 to 1. Yeah, here you go.
That's it. Problem solved. Anyway, I think we may move on from this COVID talk. It's fucking depressing.
I'm sure we're not the only podcast that talks about it, so let's have some more fun.
Yeah, let's have a talk about Distrokid. Do you use Distrokid?
I do use Distrokid.
Distrokid, for those that don't know, is a way of distributing your music that you want to distribute. So you can send it to Spotify, iTunes, TikTok, Instagram Music, YouTube, all different places. And it's great service. I use it myself. Fucking fantastic way of doing it. You don't need a record label to put your music out on all Spotify and iTunes and all this crack. You can do it yourself. But they have started to release a NFT collection in collaboration with 9,999 artists. And an NFT, you know what this is, Kenan? Of course you do.
Don't even start with me.
All right,
I want you to explain in. Can you explain an NFT in 30 seconds?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm no expert on it. I've created a few, but I haven't sold any, unfortunately.
No way. You actually created a few?
Yeah, like 8 months ago, back when it was starting to be a big thing. I did a few. I might share the link in the podcast description because, yeah, I'll share the link there now. But anyway, an NFT, a non-fungible token, is basically, I would look at it this way. Say if you were playing Call of Duty, Warzone, or whatever as you do, and you're buying a skin for your gun, or you're buying a new bandana for your head or something. It's a digital item that you're paying money for, be it a couple of euro or whatever it is. But then if you wanted to sell that on again, you can't really. You buy it and you equip it, but you can't really sell it on. And some games in the past, I think World of Warcraft, you could sell things if you found a really rare sword or something.
I know
like that,
you can do it in what's that? CS:GO.
CS:GO, yes, that's another one. Yes, yeah, you can do it there. But this, I suppose, NFTs is just a kind of a way of selling digital goods online, and the things aren't necessarily real, but they are real in the sense that they're digital, and mostly an NFT are pictures or a GIF or something like that, and you might go, oh, why don't I just take a screenshot of that picture? Then I don't have to pay thousands of euros for this little thing. But the thing is, each of those pictures have this kind of code, kind of, I suppose, built into it to say that it's been on the blockchain. And blockchain is how cryptocurrency works.
Yeah.
I can't do this in 30 seconds. It's crazy. But
no,
basically, it gives a bit of a marker. An NFT have a marker on it to say that this is a legitimate picture. It's a legitimate NFT. It was minted on such a time, and it's related to such a wallet or whatever it is. And the value is based on how much someone paid for it, I suppose. But you have the like of what was it, Beeple, that's the guy. He sold his NFT collection for something like $600 million, something crazy. He converted his art into like pictures and then sold it for a stupid amount of money. But you can do, like, you have the Bored Ape. Have you seen these guys? The Bored Ape NFT collection, and they're selling for freaking hundreds, or tens and thousands and hundreds of thousands each for this one picture of a Bored Ape. Basically, NFT musicians using NFTs it's becoming more of a thing as well. You can create an NFT, and it could be a clip of your song, or it could be your album art with a link to the album. Or there's lots of different ways of doing it. I still have to look into it myself properly. But basically, Distrokid have created a collection of NFTs, and it's called Sellouts. The collection is called Sellout. So basically what it is, I think each of them are selling for like $60, and it has a picture. Each of them will be like a little cartoon character. Each individual picture will have some new, like have a different sunglass, or have a different hat, or a different hair color, or everything. Every one of them is unique in that way. I think then if you buy one of these, you're paying that $60 straight to the artist, and you get linked to their music, and then you can sell that on NFT on again for a lot more money if you want to. But what do you think about NFTs and music and NFTs in general? Like, do you
like I know it's extremely lucrative. I know people. It's a new industry. It's like the kind of when like the beginning of Bitcoin happened and everything. Like people that knew about it and people that got into it did well, And like I'm getting ads for Bitcoin, like trading and stuff like that. So it's like so readily available to everyone now. It's kind of cryptos,
A word to the wise as well. If you see a fucking ad on Facebook saying, "Hey, we'll buy you Bitcoin," or whatever these people, sell, whatever it is, just don't do that. Go buy it yourself. Go get the a Kraken app or whatever. I use Kraken and I buy my Bitcoin that way if I need to. You don't have to go through a third party intermediary on Facebook. Just so you know. Anyway, carry on.
I just think the NFTs and stuff like that, like, to me, it's hard to wrap. So basically, I can take a screenshot of something, but like the reason you'd buy an NFT is because it has like this like blockchain linked, like,
yeah, it's
code.
recorded on the blockchain.
But like, then it's just like an image thing more than anything for the person. If you don't care about having the original one, is it like, if you buy the Mona Lisa, like, I can buy the Mona Lisa,
take a picture of it, or you can buy the Mona Lisa. Yeah.
Okay, so it's like, yeah. No, it still doesn't. I'd love to get into. I'd love to find how to get the music side of it, and I feel like that's interesting.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that more. And my description of NFTs and blockchain, that was very basic, and I hope maybe it kind of helps you understand a little bit more, whoever's listening. But it probably didn't, because I didn't really plan my explanation too well. That's the kind of thing where you could do a whole like 2-hour podcast just on the concepts behind it.
I'm sure there is a podcast out there that is
simply
based.
Thousands of them, thousands probably. Yeah, but it's just an interesting way, like the Distrokid helping these people, helping independent musicians out by making these NFTs on their behalf. I would have happily got in on it if I had known about it. I just see the news article now. If I had known about it when they were doing it, but what can you do? But anyway, look, that's interesting. But what's your next news story? Your positive one?
My positive one, yeah. So this is more for like Irish based and mainly Dublin based as well. But there was a pub in Smithfield called the Cobblestone, and it's well known for like having really, really great trad nights and loads of great artists like Glenn Hansard, Mary Black, Billy Connolly and stuff like that have had big links into it. And this happened around the same time as the Halfpenny Bridge Arch, when the news came out that is all being basically knocked and turned into like a big hotel. And then the Liberties in Dublin as well, where all the horse yards are, they're all being knocked and turned into hotels. And then the Cobblestone is being knocked and turned into a big hotel as well. So there was like huge backlash from the public, which they expected. But like the backlash was intense, like protests every week. And like some of the biggest like upcoming names in like the Irish music industry were there. And just absolutely, it's just insane. And like here's a little quote here. A Green Party MEP Kieran Cuffey, he says, the Cobblestone has been an extraordinary venue for traditional music that has attracted musicians and singers from all over the world. It is unthinkable that it would be sanitized and become a cocktail bar for 24th century bucolic hotels. So yeah, it was like the Cobblestone
boutique, is it?
Boutique, that's
boutique.
The one. What's bucolic?
Yeah. Bucolic? I don't know.
That's a word though, no?
Jeez, I don't think I've ever heard it before.
If it isn't, I've made a word up.
You maybe have.
And it's my word now.
Bucolic.
Bucolic. It sounds lovely. Sounds like a bouquet of flowers. Very
bouquet of flowers, yeah. It's archaic. It's bucolic. Nice. Go on. I interrupted you.
Well, yeah, that's yeah. So the planning permission, the council actually refused the planning permission for the hotel and for all that. So it's a big win.
Hey.
For how long? I don't know. And the council are kind of patting themselves on the back for it, even though they are the ones that were willing to kind of sell it. But it's just the extreme backlash that happened over.
Yeah.
So all you can do is wait. But we love to see parts of lovely Dublin not go into
No,
the
exactly.
shambles.
And you were telling me recently about the cobblestones in Temple Bar.
Yes, because they
They
were.
were concrete over.
Yeah, so there's some areas that still have them, but the main part of cobblestones that many of people that are not from Ireland have seen on pictures and seen beautiful Temple Bar with their cobblestones. They're all paved over, for like a numerous set of reasons, like driving mainly when police and taxis and stuff drive. But it's also a health hazard because people were falling.
Slippery.
But like they were been there 100 years. Like it's like people didn't fall. It's not like people didn't fall 100 years ago. Not that kind of way. It's just I think like and
yeah,
there's
they didn't have lawsuits back then, I suppose.
Yeah, but like
maybe
part of history.
Yeah.
I'd feel like you're a shite bag if you're suing. If you're suing the council over over a piece of history,
Yeah, but it's just iconic cobblestones at Temple Bar, and they're just being concrete over, just being gentrified and such.
They've taken the entire square of Temple Bar and completely like restructuring it.
Yeah.
And I seen they have like a really, really small notice board that has like the information about it, but it's hidden. It's like really hidden, and it's really like out of the way.
Oh, so they're displaying the changes that they're going to make, and it's up for people to go against it, but people can't see it because they're hiding it away somewhere they can't see it. Is it?
It's like on like a couple of streets down from Temple Bar, and it's like on the side of a building that's like an art gallery that isn't used anymore. So it's just like there's no reason to look in. So they're doing that, and you can tell they're trying to make like Dublin more cater to tourists, but they don't realize that the reason tourists come over here is because of the culture and the art and the music and the history. It's not they don't come over here and they go, oh, look at my lovely hotel. Oh my god, look at that lovely hotel. That's a really nice
concrete floors, really. It's paved floors, really nice.
I might actually stay in that hotel next time. It's it's mad, man. But it's good news. We'll get there.
That's it. But look, I think we'll move on to our last topic of the day. Spotify. Yeah, we talk about Spotify a lot. But let me tell you this. I don't know if you heard about this, but it was just from back in November, I think. Yeah. Where Spotify's CEO, Daniel Ek, he's the main head honcho. He has made $100 million investment into an artificial intelligence defense technology, which basically the AI software can map out a battlefield in a war zone and recognize patterns of like thermal images, radar data, and basically different information from different sensors to create a kind of a picture of the battlefield. So, okay, there's a tank over there, there's a few guys over there, there's so on and so on. So basically makes it way more efficient to pick your targets and make the kill, let's say. You could look at it that way.
Okay.
So yeah, Daniel Ek has put $100 million into this, and some musicians have gone a bit against it, let's say. So it has been the hashtags boycott Spotify. This is one from Darren Sangita. Can't talk. Boycott Spotify now. Cancel your subscription today. Artists and music lovers must not support the military AI industry. And this is so vile. Music is not war. Wrong on every level. So basically these people are saying that Daniel Ek has put money that he has kind of gotten from musicians, let's face it, over the years, and now put into military AI technology to kill more efficiently, you could say. What do you think about this now? I don't think you've heard about this before. I think this is the first time you heard about it.
Yeah, this is the first time I'm hearing it, yeah. It's interesting,
it's interesting.
It's interesting. I think like when you have that much money, people will just, no matter what you put your money in, you're always going to obsess someone.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
It's I wouldn't get so up in arms about the music side of it, because like people go, he's spending the money he makes from artists on weapons. I'm like, it doesn't matter where the money's coming from, right? I don't think that matters. I think the thing is, we've been getting fucked for years from Spotify. You know, we've talked about it a couple of times on this podcast. The reason why Spotify hasn't failed, even though we're all very upset with Spotify, there's reasons why they haven't failed. The scary thing is, why do you need this software? Not even about
it's just
him.
to make war more efficient.
That's the thing. It's
it's going that way. Yeah.
Now, I'm sure the explanation that you get from like some sort of military would be like, it reduces, loss.
Casualties on our side. Yeah. Exactly.
You know, if you have a bad guy over there, you don't want to shoot someone here and there to get to him. You want to fucking just.
That's true too.
It's like when you have, like guided bullets. You have like tracker bullets that they have now, where you can shoot, and like bullets can actually bend around corners. They've made this new fucking.
Is that from fucking Call of Duty Warzone or something now?
No, it's actually like it was on what was it? I think it was on Pawn Stars, or on one of these like history shows where he talked about like they were manufacturing these weapons where like you can, like, if you know the position of like a target, you can fire, and the bullet actually has this interesting feature where it can actually turn its like its angles, which is like fucking terrifying.
Sounds like a YouTube hole that'd be going down.
I'll send you over some things. If anyone's listening, you should look it up. But it is just, I don't know, it's just scary. Like, I think every generation has something that nearly wiped them out. You know what I mean? People think that COVID is our generation.
It's not at all.
Yeah, but it's like, that's the thing. Like, it's scary of like.
I think COVID's only warm up for something worse.
Look, it's got to be we're in like a financial war. I think everyone's like trying to make as much money as possible.
Yeah. So that's World War III for you. It's being fought financially.
Yeah.
You're talking China, Russia, and America, and China's buying up land and infrastructure everywhere. Africa, especially. Anyway, that's a whole other topic. But carry on.
You're trying to bankrupt the country.
Yeah, exactly.
So the country become dependent in some aspect on you. That would be the same way as like surrendering to a country in World War II. It has that same kind of like eerie consequence to it. It's like,
right, yeah.
It's scary. War is scary, but we're like, as humans and as like in the first world, a lot of people over here have the mentality of just like, oh, war's over there, so it's fine. Yeah. It's like over that way, and I still get my coffee beans in the morning, and I still get my newspaper.
Go still get my avocado toast.
I can, I can go on and fucking watch porn or whatever you want to do, right? You still get to live your leisures. Isn't that right, Copper?
That's it. Absolutely.
You still get to live your leisures.
That's what you mainly do every day.
Lockdown has been very hard in one way or another.
Yeah. Your right hand's getting a good workout.
Look at
the size of your right arm compared to your left.
But I think it's like people are like, why? I think people are saying, why are we taking COVID so seriously when there's like other illnesses and like there's like more people in the hospital now with flus? But the reason we are is because it's like a first world problem now. When
everything's too clean now.
Well, yeah, when it's a third world problem, it doesn't really matter. Like to most people.
Yeah, relatively speaking. You mean.
Relatively speaking. Yeah, I'm trying to find the right
doesn't matter
word.
about them people. So cold.
Yeah. It's the winter weather. It's got me rootless. But I think when it comes to stuff like war, like it doesn't matter to certain people, and it doesn't because it's not in the peripheral vision.
Yeah.
But when it comes over here, and that's why like
Then
that's
it becomes real.
that's why it's scary, man. That's why it's scary,
Mhm.
and financial wars, and okay,
Yeah,
let's just keep buying GameStop stock. Let's just keep it
That's
simple,
it.
man.
That's it, man. I'm deciding to make a change from Spotify anyway, but this isn't based
It's
on
not
this.
time to make a change. Just sit back, take it
Take it
easy.
easy. Good old, whatchamacallit him? Cat Stevens.
Yes.
Yes. Boyzone did a version of him. That's the one I listened to when I was growing up. Or Cat Stevens' name is Yusuf Islam now. Did you know that? He became Yusuf Islam.
Oh, Yusuf.
I think he converted to Islam, so he changed his name to Yusuf Islam.
Okay.
Joseph Islam, I think, pretty much. But great musician. If you ever go back and listen to some of his stuff. But the reason, I'm kind of moving away from Spotify because I had pretty much everything in Spotify, music and my podcasts and stuff. Just I'm talking listening now. I'm still going to put my music up there in future and stuff. I'm not gone that bad. But I found that when you want to listen to music and you open the Spotify app and you want to get suggestions for music, let's say. I don't know exactly what I want to listen to, but hopefully Spotify will make some suggestions to me and then I can pick that album and go with it. But when I open my Spotify, every single icon, every single row of recommendations is all podcast. Every single goddamn thing. And I listen to podcasts a hell of a lot. And actually, a lot less now that I start my new job because I can't listen to podcasts during the day in my work anymore, which I've probably decreased my amount of podcast listening by like 80%, I'd say in total, which is massive.
That's a lot.
I used to listen to probably at least 9 hours a day podcasts.
No way.
Oh yeah,
that is insane.
Yeah, like you do your 8-hour day work and you have your headphones on, you just listen to podcasts and then you come home in the evening time or to drive home. You'll be driving for an hour each way and then you listen to podcasts. So that's 10 hours probably, 10, 11 hours. You're talking, it adds up fairly quickly. But yeah, I listen to a lot less. But I find that, when I do want to actually listen to music, I can't find music. I have to literally have something in my head. Okay, I want to listen to Kenan now. I have to go up to the search bar and type in Kenan's name.
Yeah.
But if I just want to randomly, get some music suggestions, it's just all gone. Like there's just all podcasts. So I started using Apple Music, the app, which is completely all music. There's no actual podcast in it at all. And I found that they actually pay the musicians a lot better. I think Spotify pays per stream, it's something around 0.0003. And then Apple Music is 0.0007. So it's a good bit more, even though it's still fractions of a cent. It's a bit more of a fraction of a cent. So, if you are thinking about when you're on Spotify and you're listening to your favorite musicians, like, oh, look, I'm showing my support by, listening to this music and not pirating. It's kind of, okay, they might get a cent if you're lucky from streaming their whole album a few times. You know what I mean? Whereas Apple Music, they have more of a chance of making a little bit more money than they would on Spotify from you streaming.
And how much is Apple Music?
It's the same price, and I think they have 3 free months if you want to start it. Then it's like $9.99 a month after that. But so I've gone back to using Podcast Addict for my podcasts now as well. So I have 2 separate programs, one for podcasts, one for apps, one for podcasts, one for app music. And then I still have Spotify because some podcasts are exclusive to Spotify, so I have to go over there and listen to them there still. But I don't know. I find I'm listening to more music as well. If I have a dedicated music app, I'm actually listening to more music. Whereas I used to not listen to a whole lot of music, which is weird. I used to just listen to podcasts. But I think it's a better avenue of doing it. But what are you still you're a Spotify user?
Do I still use it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, when all the Spotify raps come out every year, I shared mine, and then I shared my listening.
Yeah.
I didn't share my artist one because I was just...
I didn't share anything. I was just like, wasn't bothered at all.
Well, I didn't share the artist one because I was just like, it doesn't really matter. You know, it's more about like I hate when people get bogged down by numbers.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't get the numbers they want. And I've seen a few people on Instagram, and they're
Oh,
like,
I only got 1,000 plays.
yeah, or someone was like, my goal this year was to get 100,000 plays, and it's like, all right, that's a fair play to you, that's a noble goal, whatever. Like, but like, it's like, if you have 100,000 people listen to your thing, but no one connects with it, what's the fucking point? Like,
Yeah, what's the point then? Yeah.
So I didn't share. No, I did share my rap in terms of what I listened to, and then after I was like, it kind of does that. It does sink in of like, it doesn't. People are like, oh, thank you so much for listening to me. Like, yeah, but like, you made like, what? How much off me? Like,
maybe a cent if you're lucky, or 2 cents off me if I listen to you. Yeah.
So I actually might look into fucking Apple Music.
Maybe. Like, I'm not saying everyone should do it. Like, I'm just saying this is the approach I'm taking now for New Year anyway.
Very noble of you.
Yeah, yeah.
Fair play to you.
Yeah, I didn't bother with the rap cider this year. I think I might as well say, I think my artist who I listened to most was, one, like Roger Miller, and 2 was, I think, Sturgill Simpson. I think 3 was Slipknot, and 4 was, I can't remember now, but that's their 3 main ones. So a weird mix.
And that's what you want. You want a nice mad mix. Like, you don't want the same thing over and over again. That kind of way.
Exactly.
My one was Towns Van Sant.
Yeah.
Ian Noe. It's like,
Noe.
he's
I don't know him.
You don't know him? Well, you should know him. You check him out. He's really good. And then I had like Luke Kelly and
Copper Kelly.
Copper Kelly. Yeah.
Where was me?
Copper Kelly, the Art Saddle podcast. And,
yeah.
And then Wolfe Tones. I know the Wolfe Tones were like me fort. Just great old mix of Irish rebel music and folk. But,
that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's really it. Now, I think we'll draw a close to proceedings, unless you want to have anything more to add.
Well, we're on the Spotify train and giving out about it.
You know us, like, we're great at giving out.
If you're listening to us on Spotify.
Good call. Good call.
Fuck off. No. You're able to do something really simple, really easy, and super beneficial. Isn't that right, Mr. Copper Kelly?
And that's it. And Spotify should have included this option about 2 years ago. Go on.
So you can now review our podcast. And we used to always ask, if you're on the other streaming apps that allows reviews on podcasts, if you're listening there, leave a review, leave some nice words. It's really beneficial for the algorithm. It's really beneficial for our stats. It's great. But Spotify now, which is probably where most people listen to us, you can now...
Definitely,
yeah, you can now do an review. So, like...
exactly. Well, a rating. They still haven't got reviews. So they're still a little behind that way.
Yeah.
Even though Spotify, they spend hundreds and hundreds of millions in order to become like the biggest podcast app in the last few years, and they just now starting to include ratings. It's weird. But you can go, if you go onto our main, I suppose, podcast page on Spotify, underneath the title you'll see a little rating option. If you hit the rate and give us 5 stars, and no less, please.
Please, no less. We have a very, very fragile egos.
Oh yes, we look at these numbers, and if the numbers are not good enough, we get awfully depressed, and
and then the drinking starts, and then we don't get podcast done. It's terrible. I want to go on.
But yeah, you can go and rate us on Spotify, and you can go and review us on Podcast Addict. You can actually rate and review, and Apple Podcasts you can rate and review. Give us a little few words saying, these lads, they don't know what they're talking about at all. No, something nice though, something nice. But
awful, guys.
do that, and really helps us support us.
Yes, and I'm on it now, and I'm going to be sure to rate. That's my plan.
That's it. And hit that follow button too if you haven't already. I'm sure you do if you're listening to us. But and those socials, I suppose we'll shout out to your socials. Where can they find the podcast?
They can find the podcast, and it's been a while since I've done this, so I'm trying to remember, on Facebook and on Instagram under the Art Saddle Podcast.
It's true.
And you can find us on YouTube. And when go on,
yes,
do you want to talk?
Yes, I'll say this. Yeah, so we're going to go more audio only for a while. We were putting out audio and video on YouTube, but creating the video just takes
in a horrible car accident, and I just
no one wants to look at this fella's face.
Horrific. So I don't want the video on.
But making the videos, like say to produce a podcast and all, and the video, it used to take me like 2 evenings, full evenings after work to do one podcast for audio and video. And it's just held up my computer for hours, my internet connection uploading gigabytes, and just everything was just crappy for like 2 evenings. Everything was slow and whatever. But and I don't know if we got enough views to justify doing that. Okay. So we're going to just do the audio. It's much easier and it's quicker to get out and to a high standard. And everything I do want to do to a high standard. So I don't want to rush anything and put out crap. I want to do it well. And I don't have the time a lot. So we're doing audio only for a while. But there will be on our YouTube channel, we still have the audio, but it'll have like a picture of the artwork, and I might have like a fancy bouncing waveform that jumps in time with our voice. But that will still be on our YouTube. If you want to go over and subscribe over there and watch. If you do listen to the podcast through YouTube, we still will be there. You won't be able to see our faces moving as such.
And another
but if you do want to see our faces, you can go over to our Instagram and Facebooks.
Yes, which we put up selfies after every show, and we do all that fun stuff.
Kenan does lots of pictures in the bat.
Lots of pictures, lots of feet pictures from my OnlyFans.
That's right.
And if you hop on to Spotify and go to any one of our episodes and click on it, and then where the really badly written bio by one of us is there. If you click on that, it says see more. You can go down to the end and you can send us a voice message.
See more butts.
See more big booty butts. And yes, you can send us a voice message. And send it over. And if we like your voice message, we'll give you something nice. I don't know what we'll give you.
Yeah, we'll play it on the air. We'll do something anyway.
Yeah, if it's wonderful. If it's life changing, we'll give you like free Patreon access.
Oh,
go.
Speaking of which, we have a Patreon.
Yes, we do. Nice transition.
There we are. So on Patreon, we do bonus episodes, and so after this, we'll probably record for another half an hour or so, and we'll talk all sorts of craziness. That's good crack. Oh, jeez, good crack. So it goes a bit more off the rails, I suppose.
Yeah.
We
it's
can
less
say
musical,
stuff.
More
we can talk
chaotic.
about movies. We talk about wrestling. We talk about, I don't know, ghosts, whatever. It could be complete. We have no idea what we're going to talk about today, but we'll talk about something anyway. We'll always find something good to talk about. And it's usually good crack. And we tend to say stuff that we can't really say in public on a public free forum like this version of the podcast. But if you go over there, it's behind the paywall, so we can say whatever we want. So it's grand.
Talk a lot of shit.
Yeah, a lot of shy. But I think it's just €1 if you want to go over there, and it unlocks all our previous bonus episodes. There's a good 9, 10 of them up there now, I think.
And we do a bonus episode every week. So if you work it out, you're paying 25 cents per episode a month, for €1. And that's great. And
plus, we don't have ads on the podcast. You might notice we don't have ads at the start or middle or the end, because I find they're just annoying to people, and we'd have to be making so many downloads to be able to make €1. It's like Spotify. It's the same idea. So we just leave off the ads, and if you like us, go over and pay us €1 on Patreon, and that €1, if you give us €1, it's much more worthwhile than waiting for months and months and hundreds and hundreds of plays to get a cent through advertising. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's much more worthwhile. And
And
it's,
the euro comes straight to us as well.
exactly.
There's no middleman or middlewoman.
Middlemen or women. You have to be inclusive nowadays, Kenan.
Yes. Well, I said it. I was the one that said it first. Don't be throwing this on me.
Did you? Oh,
I said
just talked
women.
over you. I didn't hear it.
Yeah, exactly. I said men and women. You went women, Kenan. I was like, yeah, I know.
He said that. Okay. I didn't hear you. But yeah, we're getting a bit dopey now. We've been on here for what, good hour and a half now. We were chatting before we came on, so we're getting dopey now. So this is a great time to go into our Patreon.
Yes. Woo!
We're likely to say anything. But again, look, thanks for listening to. Oh yeah, where do you find yourself, Kenan? Your own music page. Where can you find you?
You can find me on Kenan Flannery, Kenan Flannery Music on Instagram, on Facebook.
It's like you spelled the easy part and left out the hard part. It's like you figure that part out. Well, it's not very hard. I know what you mean.
Well, yeah. Now you figure it out. Yeah,
You figured it out.
you'll find us somewhere in the art saddle. I'm at Flannery Kenan on Twitter. I only learned this the other day. That's my actual @ thing.
Ah, yes. I'm on Twitter as well, but I barely use it.
Yeah,
I should probably start using it a bit more.
Yeah, I don't use it that much either. Mainly Instagram for me.
Go follow us. We don't use it, but go follow us anyway.
If you want to see what I get up to and the shenanigans I do, mainly Instagram. Follow me on Spotify. That's the main thing. If you follow us on Spotify, if you're following the Art Saddle, you might as well, as you're listening to us, head over to our Spotify page, head up to my one, head over to Copper's one, give us a follow, give us a couple of shares, a couple of likes, and yeah, that's where you find us.
That's it. And you find myself down Copper Kelly Music on all platforms, Instagram, Facebook, blah, blah, blah. Spotify, Apple Music, all the good stuff. But yeah, that's it for this week's episode. Thanks very much for coming back. We've been absent for a few weeks, but we're delighted to be back, thankfully. Back in business, back on the saddle. It's the old Aerosmith song. And yeah, we'll be rocking out the episodes in the next few weeks. We'll have a few guests on. We'll have good crack. We'll maybe have another Christmas special episode, perhaps.
Oh,
we'll figure out something about that.
Very nice, yeah. I think
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
I could make some mulled wine.
Ah.
We could dress up. We can sing Christmas carols. Oh, we could talk. Oh, yeah, we could talk about like Christmas films and music and.
Ah, okay, yeah, that's definitely a Patreon kind of an episode.
For music, we can get a list of. That's a good idea. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll get a list of all the Christmas number ones of every year, and we'll chat about them. Because I don't know if you've noticed the past 3 years, right? Past 3 Christmas number one has been a band, and I think they come from Sweden, right? And they were on YouTube and they blew up, and their entire stick is they make songs about sausage rolls.
I'm unfamiliar with these.
And the last 3 years, they've been Christmas number ones.
Have they? In what country? In Ireland?
And like, on like the Christmas channel, I think it's like US or like, yeah.
All right, okay. Let's save that for our
We will
Christmas
save that.
special then.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't know this now. That's cool. But anyway, look, thanks for listening to us. And that's a big goodbye from me and a goodbye from Kenan.
A goodbye from me, yes. Yeah, it's a goodbye indeed. I am a good boy.
He's a good boy. But yeah, look, thanks. And we'll talk to you again next week. Or we'll talk to you on the Patreon if you're over on the Patreon. We'll talk to you over there. We'll slide into the old page, just to say. But yeah, enjoy yourself. We'll talk to you next week. All the best.